Hello, in this teacher modeling video, I'm going to show you how I would start a body paragraph. This can be your first body paragraph, your second body paragraph. It's really the same how you're going to start it, which is with an assertion. So first thing is looking back to your thesis. You should have chosen two specific methods. Again, it's completely up to you which of the two you chose. But let's say for this, I chose speeches and direct action. I could have chosen writing and direct action, writing and speeches, whatever combination of the three. But let's say I'm talking about speeches. So I would start saying one of the specific ways that the abolitionists worked towards reaching their goal of ending slavery was through speeches. Right here, this is my assertion. It is a topic sentence, lets the reader know that this paragraph is going to be about speeches. Let's say I was starting my second body paragraph, then I'm going to go to the other one, direct action. And I would say something like, another way that the abolitionists worked to end slavery was through direct action. So either way, an assertion, one sentence tells the reader what it's about. Now I have to remember that there are two sources that I can use and should use for this topic of speeches. So again, the speeches are the middle two, Frederick Douglass, source C, and Sojourner Truth, source D. So let's say I know I want to talk about Sojourner Truth. So first I have to explain who was Sojourner Truth. If I just go into her quote, the reader's going to be like, whoa, 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 who is Sojourner Truth? I'm so confused. So introduce who she was in a sentence or two. That's your context for your quote. So I would say, an abolitionist who used speeches to draw attention to the issue of slavery was Sojourner. And then, who is Sojourner Truth? Sojourner Truth was a formerly enslaved woman who traveled the country giving speeches about her life and showing people how slavery was wrong and should be ended. And then I need to give the title of the source. So if I'm using a quote from her speech, Ain't I a Woman by Sojourner Truth, I will say, in the speech, Ain't I a Woman by Sojourner Truth, she said, I don't just call it the text, I name it specifically. And then I'm going to have my quote. So I already picked this out earlier, but you should go through the sources packet, highlight or code which sources you want to use. But let's say I like this quote here. So I'm going to copy and paste, push Control C, and then I'm going to quotation marks, paste. Boom, there is my quote. So there's my quote. And then next what I have to do is interpret what this quote means to me. So let's say I would say, this quote shows how Sojourner Truth would draw on her experiences as an enslaved woman to show the suffering and cruelty that she experienced during her enslavement. And again, she's in the quote here talking about how she would be beaten, bear the lash, how she had her children stolen away from her. So that really is why I'm saying that it shows the suffering and horrible conditions. But next, I have to explain or tie back how this relates to the assertion of, this helped the abolitionists reach their goal of ending slavery because, and then explain that in words. I would say because it showed to people who were not enslaved the true suffering enslaved people, especially mothers, experienced, motivating them to feel bad for enslaved people and working towards ending slavery. All right, that's my interpretation. What does this quote show? And how does it help connect back to the assertion of help them reach their goal of ending slavery? So that's my first evidence chunk. Now I need a second evidence chunk. I'm not going to go all the way through that, but for a transition, another abolitionist who also used speeches to draw attention to the abolitionist cause was Frederick Douglass, because he's the other person from the speeches. So again, I'm going to go up to his, find a quote, but same thing. I'm not going to do that this whole time right now, but now I just need to introduce who Frederick Douglass was. Frederick Douglass was, and then I'll just repeat the process, saying who he was, introducing his quote, and then interpreting the quote, and that would be my first body paragraph about speeches. So you're going to be doing this pretty much on your own, finishing your first body paragraph, 2 evidence chunks per body paragraph. Once you finish the first one, repeat the process for the other method you chose in your thesis to have 2 body paragraphs, 1 for each of the 2 methods you chose. And that's what you're going to be working on today.